How powerful is Kylo Ren, and why did he turn to the dark side? I bring up these questions together because I believe there may be a link between them. First, let's ask this question. How powerful do you think Ben Solo was? And I know that from a certain point of view, Kylo and Ben are one and the same. But what I'm really asking is, how powerful was Ben with the Force just from the start? What if, and I know this might seem unlikely, he wasn't remarkably strong with the Force, showing nowhere near the aptitude that Luke or Anakin did before him? Why would I ever think that? First, we know that Ben wasn't trained in the traditional sense, where he started at a very young age, so young that he wasn't able to remember his parents, like they did back in the prequel era. We know this because in The Force Awakens, Han and Leia talk about how they sent him off to be trained by Luke after he started showing too much Vader in him. It's really interesting to guess at just what age this was. Was Ben 7, 10, 15, maybe even older? Just how old was he when his training finally began? I also wonder what Ben may have done that finally sent Han and Leia over the edge and made them finally ship him off to Uncle Luke. And did Ben even want to become a Jedi, or was it forced upon him? Then we have to wonder about what was Luke's stance on training Ben. Was he lobbying for it all along, or did he have his doubts about training his nephew? Did he think it may be dangerous to train him because of the Vader in him Han and Leia spoke of? Was he confident in his ability to train him and overcome all that anger? Or was he maybe worried that he'd fail his sister and best friend, as he seemingly did since Ben did go to the dark side? Did he think Ben should be trained at all because maybe, just maybe, he wasn't even strong enough with the Force, or didn't want to become a Jedi for the right reasons? Now, I could sit here for hours and speculate about all these questions and more, and feel free to go to the comments below and give your thoughts on any or all of them after the video. But for the sake of this argument, let's just assume Luke was leery to train Ben because he thought he didn't have what it takes to be a Jedi for any number of reasons. That he's only training him because his sister has pretty much begged him to. Let's also assume that Ben was eager to become a Jedi, like his hero Uncle Luke, so that he could be powerful, which is something Luke obviously wouldn't be pleased about. Now, if this is the case, how did the less than level-headed Ben Solo take it when he got to Luke's Jedi Academy, at likely an older age than some of the other students, and didn't excel as they were? What if Luke was even holding back while training Ben because he wanted him to fail, because he was afraid to fully train Ben, because he saw his fall to the dark side being very possible because of his lust for power? How angry would this all make Ben, especially if he realized Luke was holding back with him? And let's not forget to mention the added pressure to excel because your uncle is Luke Skywalker. That's a lot to live up to. Okay, so what else might lead me to believe that Ben wasn't all that powerful? As I've pointed out in previous videos, it's pretty certain that Ben/Kylo had a Force vision the first time he touched Vader's burnt helmet. Remember what he asked the helmet in the scene from The Force Awakens. Show me again the power of the darkness. Clearly indicating that in the Force vision he was shown just how powerful the dark side is. Something that might be very appealing to someone who continues to struggle with his Jedi training and who, at the end of the day, is only in it to become powerful, which may ultimately be why he's failing in his Jedi training in the first place. We need only look to the show Rebels to see how quickly and easily Ezra was tempted by the dark side, and he even started to use it, all for the sake of helping and protecting his friends. Truly a just and noble cause, sure, but who knows what would have happened had Kanan not intervened and stopped him. Okay, now before I go on, I have to bring up the fact that in the book Bloodline, it was established that as of 6 years before the events of The Force Awakens, which is the time period of the book, Ben Solo is still training with Luke. He hasn't yet become Kylo Ren and fallen to the dark side, and he doesn't know that his grandfather was Darth Vader. That secret has been kept from him his whole life. In the book, it becomes public knowledge that Leia is Vader's daughter, and Leia is forced to send a message to her son, who is off training with Luke, telling him that he is actually the grandson of Darth Vader. I bring this up because I believe this was the beginning of the end of Ben Solo and the birth of Kylo Ren. Who knows just how Ben took this news, or what Luke told him about his grandfather, though likely he told him how, in the end, Vader turned back to the light and was redeemed. Anyway, now here's this young man who has Luke Skywalker for an uncle and Darth Vader as a grandfather, not to mention the war hero and legendary pilot Han Solo as a father, and a mother who is, politically, one of the most powerful people in the galaxy. And now he begins to feel more than ever that he is nowhere near as strong with the Force as he should be. And maybe at this point he begins to doubt Luke in his training. Maybe he now figures out why Luke has been holding back, because he thinks he'll become like Vader. I think it's at this time that the Knights of Ren, who are likely a group of Vader fanatics, seek out Ben Solo, now knowing him to be the grandson of their idol, Darth Vader, since that news has become public galactic-wide knowledge. This is when they present him with Vader's helmet and he has his Force vision that, as I reminded earlier, shows him the power of the darkness. It shows him the only path that he can take to make him as powerful as he wants to be. No, as powerful as the Skywalker is supposed to be. And now for a minute, let's go all the way back to Luke's training on Dagobah in The Empire Strikes Back. Luke asks at one point, "Is the dark side stronger?" Yoda is quick to reply, "No, no, quicker, easier, more seductive." I truly believe that it's this quicker, easier power he was shown in the Force vision by the helmet, that ultimately lured Ben Solo over to the dark side. It would also help explain why he still feels so much pull to the light during The Force Awakens. He wants the power, but he's not sure if giving up everything for it will be worth it in the long run. It also explains why Snoke has yet to fully train him. He knows Kylo is still being drawn to the light, and only after he kills his father has he proven his true commitment to the dark side. Let's also not forget what else Luke asked of Yoda in this scene. "But how am I to know the good side from the bad?" Yoda's response, "You will know when you are calm, at peace." I don't know about you, but I don't sense that there's ever been much calm or peace in Ben Solo. And not to make Ben sound like a fool, but he may not even realize how easily he was falling into the trap of the dark side. I again point to Ezra in Rebels, who started to wield the dark side, for the right reasons, no doubt, but was falling into a trap without even realizing it. Then there's a curious line that Kylo says to Han during their talk on the infamous narrow, railingless bridge in The Force Awakens. Kylo asks Han what he thinks he'll see if he takes the helmet off. Han tells him, "The face of my son." Kylo takes the helmet off and says, "Your son is gone. He was weak and foolish, like his father, so I destroyed him." This line could be taken a couple of ways. Yes, it seems to affirm the fact that Ben was not as strong with the Force as maybe he felt he should be, that he had to destroy this weak and foolish Ben Solo to become the powerful Kylo Ren. Or maybe he was pointing out that he was more like his father in the fact that his father isn't powerful with the Force. In other words, instead of being strong with the Force, like his mother likely is, though we don't know the extent of Leia's power since she's never been fully trained, maybe he was weak with the Force and blames Han for that. Maybe he is even so twisted in the head that he thinks by killing his father, he'll also be killing the weakness within him that he blames his father for. Then, of course, there's what Leia says to Han in The Force Awakens about their son's turn. She says, "It was Snoke." Now, as I've said in previous videos, what really intrigued me about this line is that it seems to show that Leia knows quite a bit about Snoke and how she turned her son to the dark side, and I'd love to know how she knows that. Anyway, I have little doubt that Snoke did play a big part in the turning of Ben Solo to Kylo Ren, and I'd guess he did that by promising to help make him powerful, which is what Ben's always wanted. Snoke may have even somehow caused the Force vision Ben had when he touched the helmet, showing him the power of the darkness. And when the vision was over, Ben may have even begged Snoke to train him, to show him how to become that powerful like he'd seen in the vision. And who knows just how honest that vision was with him about the power offered by the dark side. We can then go to when Rey managed to resist Kylo's mind probe and instead entered his mind, and she saw his greatest fear, that he would never be as strong as Darth Vader. What if that's Kylo's greatest fear because that's what he's been promised by Snoke, and he has his doubts that he can deliver, that he can help make him that powerful? It would again help explain his pull to the light because he's questioning, is this all worth it? Was it worth giving up my family for the pursuit of this power? Okay, so do I really think Kylo Ren is going to be weak? Of course not. Kylo Ren is powerful, but Ben Solo wasn't, and I think Yoda's line in The Empire Strikes Back tells us why. A Jedi must have the deepest commitment, the most serious mind. I don't think Ben possessed those things. I don't think he wanted to become a Jedi for the right reasons. Again, assuming he wanted to become a Jedi at all. And that is why he failed. He probably also expected things to come easy for him because of who his uncle is. Some of this might also help explain why he lost to Rey at the end of The Force Awakens. Simply put, he didn't take her seriously, and he was toying with her. Look at his fight with Finn. He toyed with him up until Finn actually landed a blow on his shoulder, at which point he got angry and promptly disarmed him and sliced open his back. I think he could have done that to Finn pretty much any time he wanted to. I also think he could have done pretty much the same thing to Rey. Well, up until the point at the end of the fight where Rey got possessed by the Force or whatever happened. Also, I think Kylo was in the market for an apprentice here. He didn't want to kill Rey. He wanted her to join him. We know that because he even offers to be her teacher and show her the ways of the Force. So yes, Kylo Ren is going to be powerful, but only because he has now killed Han and fully committed to the quick and easy path that is the dark side. However, I wouldn't be surprised if in Episode 9 he will be forced to make a choice to either continue down that dark path or to turn from it to save somebody he cares about. Then again, I may be way off, so I'll leave those thoughts for another video. Okay, well that's all I got for you this time. Please let me know in the comments below what you think. Oh, and also know that I do read pretty much every comment I get, other than a few that probably do slip by me. And let me say that a lot of you guys and gals out there have some really great insights, thoughts, and even full-blown theories that I love reading and oftentimes discussing with you. A lot of the time you bring things to light that I maybe didn't know about or even make me see things in a whole new way. so please keep commenting and help shape the next video to come. I'd really like to make this channel about all of us, not just me and my thoughts. And with that said, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet done so. If you have, then thanks for your continued support. And as always, thanks for watching.